This is Lucy, your clarity coach, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to the Personal Audit Series. It is quarter 4 of the year and a time for reviews. You will find that in the corporate world right now, personal appraisals are being done, 360 reviews are being done, and I just thought, why not do it for ourselves? That we are able to have personal audit series. And in this personal audit series, we will be able to look at specific areas of our lives, not in entirety, but some of them, and give you some guidelines. So this 5-part series, yes, the month has got 5 Tuesdays. This 5-part series guides on ways to conduct a personal audit for the main purpose of celebrating successes. And if you've been following me, you know I'm great about celebrating successes, no matter how small, and identifying areas that need your personal attention. The episodes, as I said, are 5, and we're going to start off with goal achievement today, and then I'm going to guide you on how we can go around or go about the self-audit. We will then move into the second one, which is a skills and knowledge enhancement, and have a look at that. What does it mean? What have you acquired over the year that you would like to record? Just put it down so that you know, pat on my back, I did it, I intended to, and I did not achieve. Whatever the case is, there was a plan at the beginning of the year. This is what your personal audit is all about. Then we will move into financial health check. How are you doing? How are you doing when it comes to the money? What are you doing about your pain points, your money traumas? What have you done about that area in your life? Hence, financial health check. Then we move on to number 4, which is about health and well-being assessment. I am big on personal development. My hashtag is be kind to yourself, and even hashtag taking back control. But what does that mean? Are those just words, or can we apply them to our real life? And I do hope in that session, you will get some insights of what you have been doing for yourself from the beginning of this year, and give you an idea of how you can start off your 2024, but I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. Then we have number 5, which is all about time management and productivity analyses. Well, click request to join, as you can see there on your screen, for a chance to engage with me on a one-on-one. I would really love to have you here on the screen. Last session, I sent out that invitation, and we received Lisa Power here on the screen, and she was able to share her take on fostering empowerment. So why not you? Today it's all about goal achievement. And in this episode, we seek to evaluate the goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year. The goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year. And the question for this session is, what goals have you achieved, partially achieved, or not achieved at all? Whatever it is, it actually suggests that you do have goals, and that you set out to do something this year. So at this particular point of the year, it's either you have achieved it, or you have partially achieved it, or you didn't achieve it at all. Whatever the case, an opportunity for you to come live with me right now so that we can share and have a discussion around it as I guide you towards that journey of yours of being able to have a personal self-audit. And if you're not able to join us here, then just follow down on the thread there. Share with us here your thoughts, your feedback, those goals and how they went, whether they went north, they went south, sideways, or they went south, so that I can sample some of your answers. Now let us dive into 3 guidelines immediately for auditing your goal achievement. Now the first one is reflecting. It's always important for us to reflect. And whatever it is that you do, I recommend that you reflect. You take time to reflect. There is the proverbial race that we are all on, and we seem to be running to complete a race, to achieve something, and this could be our goals. Yet we forget to be in the present. And the present would suggest that you are reflecting, you are pausing, you're taking a moment there to just keep quiet and sit with the journey thus far to this moment. Because you're only promised this moment, you're not promised tomorrow. So what is it that you can do here and now? Review. And then what do you do with that review? Those are things that we will be looking at. So begin by visiting the goals that you set out at the beginning of the year. And notice that I keep on talking about the beginning of the year. This is because I just want some order. I am about order. Otherwise, you don't have to have goals that have been set beginning of the year only. Whatever it is a start of something. So because we have a calendar, 12 months, I am using that as an example. But today could be your day one of your 3 months, of your 9 months, of your 12 months, of your 2 years, of your 10 years, whatever it is. So don't get me wrong and don't get confused when I refer to beginning of the year. I am using the calendar year just for the sake of order to be able to explain how these guidelines work out in your life. So once you are able to revisit those goals, whatever they are, I went for a session in the beginning of the year, as I shared with everybody, and this was about the vision board. I'd never done one before. I knew about it theoretically, but now I did it practically. And so my goals are there. And my main vision was scaling 2023. And I'll get to that in a bit. But that's what it was. And then it kind of broke down to the different things that I set out to do in the year. So when I say begin by revisiting your goals that you set at the beginning of the year, that's what I'm talking about. So a bit of order right there. Take a moment to celebrate your successes. Well, my success was right at the beginning, that I was able to go for this vision board session. And this year I know better. I will do it before January. Beginning of the year, I came and I did it. It was second week of January, if I'm not wrong. And so that is when my 12 months started. But remember, we're talking about order. So it doesn't have to follow the order of 12 months, although I'll keep on referring to beginning of the year. Today could be your day one. It could be your day one of your next 3 months, of your next 9 months, of your next 10 years, or of your next 1 week, whatever it is that you set your heart on, your desires, or whatever it is that your purpose is. So like I said, begin by revisiting the goals that you set at the beginning of the year or the beginning of the term, and I'll use that. Take a moment to celebrate your successes, no matter how small they are. I'm big about that. Because there was a time in my life when I waited for the big successes, and therefore I fell short of seeing my potential. I ended up always feeling that I was not good enough. I always felt that I didn't measure up. I always felt that I wasn't good enough by way of understanding what it was that I wanted to get to. I was overrating that experience. Now, acknowledge your achievement. Acknowledging your achievements does boost that self-esteem and motivation. Remember what I just said, that when I started out, I was going for those big gains and big guns and big things. And because I was not reaching them, achieving them, it's like trying to get to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro in just one skip and hop, as opposed to taking it in steps and celebrating those small steps. So of course, there's a danger of you getting very demotivated. Now, when I started acknowledging my small achievements, my small successes, it boosted my self-esteem and my motivation. Somewhere in here, in my mechanism, I kept on feeling that you can do this, Lucy. You've already done this. We can already see what you've done. And this is me, myself, and I having a conversation. I hope I'm not confusing you. And what I did is I was able to move forward. As human beings, we are built for growth. And one way of exhibiting growth, the behavior is moving forward. Because when you're moving forward, you're moving from the place that you were to a better place. You're not moving backwards. So my tip for you is note down which goals you achieved. Because once you have them all in front of you, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to have order as you put them down. Note down which goals you have achieved, which goals you have partially achieved, and which ones you didn't achieve. And for those of you who are more visual based, you want to put different colors so that you can see what color means what. So maybe if you achieved, it's a green. If it is partially achieved, maybe it's a blue. And if you haven't achieved, perhaps it's a red. And this aids the process of review, and it brings order to it, like I have said. But be warned, this can be a very emotive process, and it can trigger traumas. And why I say this is because I experienced it this year. In certain areas, when I did a review in my first 3 months, I was in debt. I was in serious debt. And for me to create this vision board, I had put down some things that I needed to do in the first 90 days. And lo and behold, I wasn't able. I didn't have the capacity to make that particular goal happen. And I beat myself up, and I felt very traumatized. In fact, it brought up the trauma from the time before when I was amassing this debt. And part of it was the pandemic time. So the debt started outside the pandemic, through to the pandemic, to where I am right now. I'm still smarting from it. So one of my goals was going to be a financial goal, where I was going to work through my debt slowly every month. But on my first quarter check, I saw that I had done nothing. It is because I didn't have the capability. And therefore, I warn you that this can be an emotive process, and it can trigger trauma. So tread carefully. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially in those cases where you didn't fully achieve your goal, or you didn't achieve it at all. Take it from me, it's not a good place to be. In our minds, when we beat ourselves up, we get to a point where we feel we are definitely not good enough, and we have no reason to be walking on this earth. And those are dark places that you can go to. So be self-compassionate. Yeah, understand that setbacks are part of the journey. Focus on the positives. And I'm not talking about positivity. I'm talking about focusing on the positives, that you have arrived here. There are certain things that you have achieved by arriving here at this point. So let's take number 1. You have fully achieved your goal, and you're celebrating those successes. There are certain lessons that you have been taught, things you've acquired along the way. Take it in its totality, in its wholesomeness. Or you could be in a situation where you've partially achieved. Take your wins. And in that area where you need attention, you're going to use it for the future. Figure out what it is. What is it that you could have done better? And on the third one, where you haven't achieved anything, look at that journey. That journey must have its ups and its downs to where you're at. Remember where you were at each spot, and write down what your lessons were, your takeaways. Because I can assure you, when things don't go as planned, there's always a reason. I know it sounds cliche, but you will only know the reason if you take time to reflect. So we are reflecting on our goals, and we are seeing how we can move forward. Today's question is, what goals have you achieved, partially achieved, or not achieved at all? All you have to do is click that request to join button there and join me here for a one-on-one, and let's discuss your environment, your journey, your take. What are the lessons that you've learned that you would like to share with us? And as you're doing that, we will be able to understand where we're coming from. For those of us who do not feel ready to join on the screen right now, if not, share with us here on the thread. Again, the question is, what goals have you achieved, partially achieved, or not achieved at all? Share them here on the thread, and we will sample them. So you have an opportunity today to join me here on a one-on-one, and I can see there's a request that is coming up. I'm just going to check on it and just see. Kavimwendwa, you have requested to join. I am going to the first guideline, which is reflect on your goals, we go to the next one. Now that you have reflected on your goals, what is the next step? Well, the next step is analyzing that outcome. Now that you've sat down and you've reflected, you've brought some order into it. You've listed down your goals and whether you've achieved them or not, or partially achieved them. You want to analyze this outcome. Remember, I talked about order. I'm all about order. This is the time when you ask yourself tough questions. You need to be authentic. That's the word I'm looking for. You need to be truthful with yourself as you ask, why did I succeed? Was it because of certain things that I put in order? Plan and organize. Was it help, external help? Is that why I succeeded? You ask yourself, what in short? Is it because I didn't create a habit, or I didn't stick to it, or perhaps I was not clear about what I wanted? Because goals are like that. It's so easy to set goals according to peer pressure. I mean, think of it. And again, I use the example of the 12 months, but that does not have to be the period that you choose, the 12 months. But for the sake of order, I use 12 months. So you can imagine July, I beg your pardon, December 30th, 31st, and then going into 1st of January. There's a lot of emotion, excitement. We're looking forward to new things. We're ending a year of success, of doom in some cases, of trauma. And now we are looking forward to new beginnings. But there's all this, this euphoria that's going on. And there you are, on just as the clock is striking midnight, you are making promises. You're saying, this is the year when I will do my undergraduate. This is the year when I will find a partner. This is the year when I will make that promotion. This is the year when I will take that holiday. For whatever it is, these are things that you're saying, but you're being pushed by emotion, and you're using that momentum to create goals. And beyond that, you don't do anything further than that. You don't make them achievable. You've just said it. And lo and behold, on the 31st of January, when you look back, you cannot even remember what goal you set for yourself. This is the fallacy of creating a goal under pressure, under emotion, following peer pressure. So as I'm saying, as you analyze the outcomes, you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, why did I succeed and why did I fall short? This could be it. It could be that in the environment that you created it because other people were doing the same. You felt an obligation to do it, and therefore you were not specific about what you wanted. You didn't prioritize yourself first. You went with the flow. Maybe you had no planning. So the question is, were your goals realistic and aligned with your current priorities? Is it something that is realistic for here and now? Is it achievable? Now, many a times we don't ask ourselves those questions, so we find ourselves in a trap. When it comes to this time of review, we start thinking, what did I say? And what did I say I was going to do? And it's a bit late in the day to be questioning that goal. So you want to think about other things. And here I have 3 tips for you, because you now have an opportunity when you find yourself in this situation to either adjust your goals. It's never the end, and it's never that serious. You can always adjust your goals. Secondly is align your goals. And last but not least is seek feedback. Those are the 3 tips that I can give you when it comes to analyzing your outcomes. You've looked at your goals, you've asked yourself, why did you succeed or why did you fall short? And then these 3 tips will help you. Remember, I'm extending an invitation to you to click the request to join and come on the live with me, and let's have a conversation about your goals, whether it's the one that you've achieved, partially achieved, or not at all. Let's have a discussion about it, because today we're talking about the personal audit series on goal achievement. So if I could just break down a little bit about adjusting your goals, how do we go about this? If you found that certain goals
no longer resonate with your priorities, then you want to consider modifying them or discarding them, doing away with them because they don't serve you anymore. If it is about aligning your goals, you're looking at, I have evolved over the year. And I know, as Lucy, I have evolved over this year. And if you've been following me, I've been on continuous learning, on a continuous learning journey. This is what I've been doing. So the Lucy that I was in January and the Lucy that I am today has evolved for all the learnings that I have taken, because I planned that this year I will be learning every month something new. And I'll be covering that when we look at the skills and knowledge enhancement. So that's aligning your goals according to your evolving nature. Give yourself that space. And the last one I talked about is seeking feedback. Now, reaching out to the environment, to people around you, so they can tell you how they see you when you show up. And this is important. I have taken on mentors. I have taken on coaches. I have attended training sessions and sought feedback. I have given mentorship, I have coached, I have also trained. And every engagement that I have sought feedback. Feedback so that I can see areas that I am doing very well, and therefore I keep on pushing my strength there and taking it to the next level. And then I also get the areas where I need improvement. I need attention to. In the beginning, this was a bit uncomfortable for me, but today I seek it and I ask, what did you think about that? What was your takeaway? How can you see where areas that I can improve myself? How would you like to be presented with this in the next time? Have I met your pain points? Am I speaking to you? All this is just seeking feedback. So how about you? How is it that you analyze your outcomes? And I'd love for you to share here with me. I've not seen anybody else requesting. I can see it's another request here. I'm going to take on your request. And I do hope that you can join me here live so that we can talk about goal achievements, the ones you have, the ones you haven't, and the ones that you have partially achieved. Remember, our question today is for you to be able to answer it either here in the thread or live with me. Last but not least is create an action plan. Now, I started off by giving an example of the corporate world. In the corporate world, we used to call it personal improvement plan. Now, because this is the season of appraisals, this is the season of you going in to do a 360 review of self. So your direct reports are going to do a review on you. You are going to do a review on yourself. Your line manager is going to do a review on you. The different departments are going to do a review on you, the ones that you collaborate and you work with. That's the 360 appraisal. Or it could just be the one where with your line manager, you are doing and carrying out an appraisal. Out of that appraisal comes a personal improvement plan. Clearly, it could be that picking your successes and building up on them, because there's so much room for potential right there. And maybe you're playing small, but you have recorded these successes. And so it's step by step by step that the PIP, as it is referred to, would help you. Or on the other scale, it could be areas where you need improvement. It could be areas where you need growth. And therefore, your PIP will be very clear about the time period that you need to achieve this. And there's a clearly outlined objective. So after analyzing your past achievements, as we have done in the first section, you need to set new goals, PIP, that align with your current priorities and your passions, whatever they are. Remember, you have evolved through the year. And you've evolved for many things that you have been doing. However, here are two things that could give you an insight of how you are going to be looking at a PIP. One of them could be you saying no. You saying no to certain circles, to people, to environments, because it's not aligned with your goals. It's so easy for us as we start off the year, or whatever time is it that you're measuring your goal achievement or your goals journey, to be carried away by the current. So when we reflect, it allows us to get realigned, but at times things happen so fast, and especially now in the fourth quarter, you will find that there will be a rush to the end of the year, and you may not find time to take care of your PIP unless you're intentional. So one way is saying no. So putting down a plan of what it is you need to be saying no to and how you're going to do that, how you're going to achieve it. And then how will you know that you are successful? So you're putting it down, you're very clear about how you're going to achieve it, and also for the parameters, which are going to show you that you have been successful or not. Remember the new skills that I spoke about? This is growth. We are human beings. We are about growth. What is it that you intended to do in the beginning of the year that you couldn't? So pick one of them, and this would fall into your PIP. Now break these goals down into actionable steps. Create a clear path towards that success. And remember to make them as SMART goals. And we covered SMART goals in one of my Tuesday talks at 3. You just want to go onto my YouTube channel, LMC Consultancy, and just look for the one of SMART goals. Are they specific? Are they measurable? Are they achievable? Are they relevant or realistic? Are they time bound? Whatever it is that you decide as your PIP is what you're going to put down there. According, you're going to test it against a SMART framework. And this increases your chances of accomplishment. But as you do this, you need to practice mindfulness. And this is what I had to do. I had to practice mindfulness by staying present and focused on the journey. And I know that I'm saying to you it's about the future, but the future does rob you of the present. So stay grounded in the present, that whatever I am doing today is going to positively impact the future. And I hope I'm not confusing you as I say that. So stay grounded, know why you're doing what you're doing, and then go for it. This increases your chances of your overall well-being, because then you're sure what your vision, your mission is, and you are not shakable at all. And even if you are, you're being flexible. It's by choice. Celebrate the progress. No matter how small it is. Right now, I'm talking about a personal improvement plan. If you are drawing it up right now, that's a success already. Something for you to celebrate. Give yourself a pat on the back that as I spoke, you looked for a piece of paper, you wrote it down, or you just saved it here on your phone, or you had a journal, or you saved it on your laptop, whatever it is. You did something. This is what we are talking about, actionable steps. So are you accountable to yourself? You've heard something. This is knowledge that I'm giving you right now, but it is nothing and useless if you do not apply it. So this is us talking about creating a PIP, a personal improvement plan. And I'm actually hoping that somebody will come on the screen and I can see you all there. I see Munyao, I see Kavi, I see Dan, I see Nanana, I see Emma. So great to see you guys. Today we have been talking about goal achievement in the series, which is your personal audit series for this month. And I do hope that these particular 3 tips, these guidelines that I'm sharing with you, have helped you to be able to go back, at least if anything, at the very least, put down the goals that you had set up beginning of the year. And if you do not have these, revisit yourself and put down what you believe should start from now. But remember to align it to your priorities. So today, as we come to the end, I encourage you to embrace this process of evaluating your goal achievements. It is really important for your mental wellness. It is important for your personal development. We are human beings. We move forward. We register personal growth. Personal growth is about learning something new about yourself, a skill. It is a valuable opportunity to foster this personal growth when you come with these ideas of a PIP. So remember to align your goals with your evolving priorities. You're not stuck, and neither is it cast in stone. Maintain a healthy and positive mindset as you do this so that you can enjoy the journey. Whatever it is that you have gone through, remember that your journey is unique. And setbacks are merely stepping stones to greater achievements in the future. Be present here now. And 3 takeaways. I never leave you without 3 takeaways. So as you carry out your personal goal achievement audit, remember to have order in your planning. I am full of order. I represent order. Remember to have order. whatever that means for you. Number two, be authentic. Be authentic when you ask yourself the questions, the hard questions. Be realistic, because as I say, it is me, myself, and I who asks myself those questions. You are accountable to self first. So be authentic, be realistic, be truthful, be someone of integrity to yourself. You owe yourself that. And then number three, third but not least, be realistic and align with your priorities, whatever your priorities are, so that you can get fulfilled. If you are playing towards your priorities, you will actually see those successes as they come through. And you'll see those failures as opportunities to be a better person. The recording of this episode will be available on our YouTube channel by this evening. LMC Consultancy, that's the name. And while you were there, please subscribe and update and be able to know, to hit the nomination, I beg your pardon, the notification button, so that you will be addressed every time you have got any sessions coming up. Thank you so much, Kavi, for your kind words. Our social media platforms have great tips as a continuation to this on personal development and mental wellness. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok as Lucy, your clarity coach now. The Who Am I Part 2 training is scheduled for the 19th of October, and we will be applying the learnings of the Part 1 that happened in the recent past month to impact our daily decision-making process. Every day we're making a decision. Right now, you've made a decision to be here. Wouldn't it be interesting for you to find out why you made a decision to be here? We delve into that. Yeah. So for more details on how to register for Part 2, check out our socials and let us help build one another. Until then, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.